Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a round 2 series in the first deathmatch tournament here with MetaPlays. And the first deathmatch tournament in rev0lt. In the blue color, we have got Looki playing as not Loki, but Freyr. And on the other side, his opponent, we need to reveal. In the reds, this is rev0lt playing as Hades. Now, Hades is a momentum god. He's all about an early pestilence, ideally targeting many of your buildings and then overwhelming you with toxotes, with hypaspists. And then what does the Norse army really do about that, right? You can't build enough stuff. But if you have buildings in many locations, as Looki is setting up right now, then you might be able to just outspam and outlast. It's the second pestilence that would really be painful though, especially if rev0lt manages to reach high population counts. He's already got the Cyclops right on top of these berserks. He's got his initial heroes here and is flooding the hypaspists in an overwhelming fashion, so that's gonna be very difficult to hold against. As you guys see, the deathmatch mode starts with a lot of resources, hence all the spamming that's going on, and there's no need to research technologies as that's just automatically happening. Age up within 5 seconds, you get all the upgrades from the age. So many hypaspists, and they're getting kinda stopped by this rock giant, which is very nice because it allows Looki to build up his number of throwing axemen, which is going to be able to counter this. And of course the Fafnir will be able to roast these guys completely. rev0lt is trying to make fortresses. His first one is complete, and his mythic age god is going to be Artemis, so this is definitely a momentum play as predicted. Fafnir is currently getting targeted down, but it's also gotten a little bit of a buff in the latest patch with more health. So they're really tanky now, but they're still going to give you the 300 gold when you defeat them. So it's very hard to get that much value with the Fafnirs. Of course, Hades is really well situated to take care of them, with Perseus being able to petrify these guys. And we've got a massive pestilence here, preventing all unit training essentially. But these triple Fafnir are kind of holding on to dear life here, and the population count difference isn't that bad. As I said earlier, this extra set of buildings is also very helpful for sure, but another 600 gold has been donated to rev0lt. And I think one of the things that you need to do is have your buildings a little bit closer to home, right? So that the fighting is a little bit closer to home. So that the Greek army has to travel a little bit further, and so that you can call in Golem Bursty in order to defend while you are down in population count. But that's no longer the case, even though Pestilence is still running. It is enough production now to keep Looki going for the longest time. And only now does Perseus show up. He is going to petrify one Fafnir, but it doesn't instantly kill it. He does have very powerful melee attacks though, so getting on it, we'll be able to get rid of this thing. You see a bunch of hoplites now up front. rev0lt is working on these bases. This one is complete already. This one's in progress. The walling is nice. But yeah, now we're starting to get into Freyr's territory, where you both have a ton of throwing axemen and a little bit of Fafnir front. All your units have 10% more health than other ones would, because of his special technology. And you're going to be able to spam Tempest as you have a good amount of favor for it. But 200 favor for the recant, that is expensive. You got to watch out for that a little bit. Vidar does provide you with the super berserks though, so they can be another really good frontline. But when you don't go for Bragi, they're a little bit less potent, and they don't give you the favor on death thing either. The Tempest forced a little bit of a retreat. The throwing axemen are definitely being annoying here for rev0lt. I think rev0lt will need a handful of cavalry in order to deal with this, because the infantry just runs into them and they get annihilated one by one. The Hippospis never get to connect. But now that the Toxotes are in such high number, what throwing axemen are we actually talking about? They're all dead. Ballista spam is getting a little bit out of control too, which is why I'm suggesting cavalry actually, so that you can go after them individually. But yeah, that's a lot of ballista. And they're doing super nicely. We're gonna see town center prevention in the back here. It's gonna cost Looki a little bit of resources, but I think rev0lt doesn't want to fight these buildings with what he's got here. He summoned in some sentinels real quick. But yeah, once again, the ballista are getting on top of buildings, right? They have no problem doing this. They will get rid of the underworld passage. They will get rid of the Toxotes. And with all these projectiles they're firing, there's gonna be a ton of misses, but they still hit the other targets nearby. Suddenly, rev0lt doesn't have a lot of Toxotes. He's struggling with population. He's struggling with the economy. Got a lot of wood gatherers, but he actually needs gold gatherers. He doesn't have food anymore, so he can't make frontline units. And trying to make Prodromos in particular, they're so expensive. And in rev0lt, they no longer counter ballista or any other siege weapon, but we've got the nuclear blast coming in as well, taking out a bunch of these buildings. Fenrir himself has been summoned here. Very nice. Well, this TC is never gonna come up, apparently. Oh, another really good part about Freyr is that his siege weapons are gonna be completely insane with his god path that he went for. I really don't like that he went with Draugr, but the siege weapons, like, these ballista are quite a bit better because of 9 waves, which is a what's his? I'm blanking on the god's name suddenly. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Aegir. Yes. Aegir does buff the overall siege performance here. Also affects the ramps. And then he also gives these forts a auto gather for food. So every single hill fort and town center is now gathering food. And if you make the village centers, which are naked town centers that don't provide population, they also will give that, and they provide a healing aura. Words are hard. Words are hard, but that's some really strong bonuses altogether. So essentially, you don't need to gather food. You just make all your fortresses, 15 of them. Plus your free town centers. It's 18 food per second already. It's like 18 hunters. And then you make these wood units. You don't need food. Looki now is going to be able to go up to 235 population, and this TC is finishing soon enough as well. But if he can put some more units on this job, then great, because it will finish faster. Got another Zom coming in, but I don't think it can hold in any way, shape, or form. All these mass berserks now charging into the fight. As they die, they gain higher attacks as well. Going up to 18 plus there. I don't think rev0lt can hold here, ladies and gentlemen. This town center is getting deleted by the ballista. I'm so sorry about my mouse acting up with the zoom. My mouse wheel is like totally busted. I'll just use arrow keys for this tournament, I think. What are these guys doing? Oh, he's cutting in the pig. That's crazy. What's he gonna do? Destroy a fortress? Jesus Christ, man. That's super unnecessary. Could have just taken this over or sent it into the Toxotes. But I guess the ballista are already doing that job, so might as well just speed things up. Yeah, Freyr is strong. Oink, oink. It still got some decent speed, even though it went into the main base. I mean, this is close. There's no reason Looki couldn't build up this DC now. And I guess we're gonna be moving into the next game. Yeah, there we go. See, I called it. Really good timing on that. It's just resource-wise, Looki did better. He gathered more, and he killed a lot more. 2-to-1 kill-death ratio almost. Enough said. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 of this series. In the blue color, we've got Looki playing as Kronos. His opponent on the other side, rev0lt, playing as Poseidon. Now, Poseidon is kind of bog standard, right? You've seen the Hades game, it's the same thing. But Kronos, he's got this whole manner situation where everything in the aura gets boosted. That's the purple haze you see, and they stack as well. So if you have more manners boosting the building speed, then you get your construction done very quickly, and you can get up to a ton of palaces. And of course, it's very easy to get to a very high favor rate as well with Kronos. You just simply make a ton of oracles, you send them all over the map. Ideally, it would be at least 8 of them. But hey, he's already got a pretty good count with 5. It's not too bad at all. The trouble is, what do you do about early Hypaspis spam as well as Toxotes? The only problem for rev0lt is right now he doesn't have a lot of Toxotes training. So he's not got all the buildings active. So the large number of those are going to be a little bit further out. We've got double Guardian of Io also here to tank. So it's not going to be a Helios game as I had predicted, but it's more about these Guardians of Io as well as Implode. Maybe even Implode on repeat, as that is definitely one of the more efficient god powers for favor when it comes to destroying light units and hurting buildings. And you know, the Guardians of Io are not too bad as well. When units are clumped up like this and they get to pull off their acid explosion. Look at that! And he leaves. But so many of the Hypaspis died anyway because of the Pyroblista taking care of them. So far so good when it comes to our Kronos player. And he's also building up on town centers. There's manors there to speed it up. There's fortresses or palaces to secure it. Really, all he needs to do is add in a little bit of destroyer to stoke the archer fire, and it's all good. Oh! Acid boom, and units are gone. And there's the destroyers as well, just as I had suggested. Very nice to see that. A large number of satyrs also absolutely pummeling rev0lt right now. We haven't seen the early game pestilence, which is so essential to use in order to get some momentum plays going for the Greeks. And you know, he didn't go for Hephaestus as well, which means no Colossus. This is looking good. Well, we got the pestilence now, but it's a little too late because this big ball is right on top of rev0lt's base. That hurts. That hurts when you're down in population against 186 with just 122. Show for yourself. That's not enough. Looki should easily be able to get to 3 TCs. He's already got the second one. And pushing forward here. Adding a handful of fire siphons, not the worst idea, definitely. But hey, maybe rev0lt is recovering a little bit. Oh, but here comes the chaos, of course. Chimera. Nice addition to the army, of course, but satyrs have X3 against Myth units, holy crap. So when you have like 5-6 satyrs, they're gonna delete them with their special attack. That is nuts. Why do they have 3x? Jesus. You're only so good against human units. So I guess you don't even... okay, I think I have been overrating satyrs in my own games. This is good to notice. Another reason for Colossi, because at least they'll resist all of that at 80% armor. Great raid as well, preventing the gold mining, as this wall has never come up. Of course, easier said than done to get all these walls going, but a revolt is really struggling here, man. All these villagers are getting wrecked. Sure, they made the fortress in the end, but now he doesn't have a lot of resources left in the bank, whereas Luke is still okay, and he's got implode coming up, so all these are gonna get wrecked. There's no way they can get out of that. They're slow units, and you plop it in the middle, well, they're gonna get sucked up. That's gonna suck for revolt. Is he gonna do it though? Oh my god, this Camila just getting wrecked. He's gonna do it, right? 120 pop only. He doesn't need it. Oh my god, the Atlantic army is so huge. It's huge. Well, all 5 units get sucked in. And then we got buildings damaged, but like not taken out. That wasn't a very good implode. But I did make sure that Revolt doesn't have a bigger army, so now you just jump on top of it with the Contarius and everything will melt, in theory. Definitely Revolt's on the struggle bus. Doesn't have resources behind this, doesn't have income. Nothing relevant at least. Still working on a third TC, but won't be able to afford the units from that. Wow. With even sense, everyone flying, but ultimately it just acts as a pullback micro for those guys. He gets taken down, focused, never had a chance. I just don't see how Revolt comes back. He's dead. There's no resources here. Oh god, he gets hit by another Chaos. His Peltas will take out the other Peltas. He severely weakened them and poisoned them. My goodness. Well, here we go. The fire siphons are targeting the town center, which actually weakened this town center because of the implode from earlier. And the construct on the fortress also hits. And there's no way to stop these 3 fire siphons here in the middle of the composition. So I think Revolt is actually toast. The TC does come up in the south, but anytime Looki wants to bother Revolt here, he can do it. He can already just make a tower, that's fine. Doesn't need too much time shifting himself, but if he wanted to, he could just time shift his buildings forward while his villagers continue gathering resources. The archers are high enough in numbers that militia don't really add anything. It does slow him down, but not that much. And Revolt is just down bad, man. He's down to 70 population. Now I think this is gonna be Looki moving on into 2-0 victory. Very nicely done there. GG, well played. Now, that was some solid Kronos. Those... oh my god. 508 kills to 190. Yep. Yep, that will do it. I think these guys are the MVP though, the Satyrs. Those did so much work. They basically never died. Insanely good unit. We want to thank our MetaPlace website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep the project sustainable. As we reach higher subscription goals, you are helping us cover more and more behind the scenes costs, such as video editing. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.